Welcome to Market Like a Hotshot, episode
53.
53.
Over a year. Holy cow.
Wow. It's officially pretty much a year, right? This week. It's like around this week last year we started here.
We got a couple there was a couple episodes that we did. We were a couple weeks where we released more than one episode. So we got a little bit ahead of we were a little aggressive last summer, cranking out the episodes. But yeah, it's about a year. I got the notification that the domain name is up for renewal. So
that's it, man.
Can you believe it?
You got to pay for that or else we lose it.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
Somebody's going to steal it. Market Like a Hotshot's it's a commodity now, right?
So what is that, episode 43, where we talked about protect your business like a hotshot?
Yeah, we got to protect it. So, hey, we're not talking about baseball this week because the Red Sox are just not doing well. Okay. But today's topic is pitch like a hotshot. And that's a topic that's very near and dear to us as big networkers.
Absolutely.
All around the United States. You know, and I network in Florida, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine. I've been a few places.
Wow.
Gone some events, ran my own events, and everybody pitches.
And often they don't do it right, so that's what this episode
Most pitches
is about.
fail before you even open your mouth.
True.
Right? Yeah. Think about that before you go to a networking event. Before you open your mouth, your pitch is going to fail, and we'll leave it at that. But we'll break it down here. We'll get why pitching matters, why it does matter, why most people pitch wrong, and I have stories today.
Oh, yeah.
We could talk all weekend about bad pitches, and authenticity.
That there's words that you and I both have a hard time with. We need a couple of wake shots to.
I know. I only have water today. Well, wake's not.
I did my awake shot.
It looks like he's got energy today.
I know. I finally have energy.
All right. So I asked before we go any further. So at least the treadmill this morning or what?
No, I did the treadmill for 40 minutes last night though.
No, you're doing it at night. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone, Hotshots out there, health like a hotshot.
I try and do push-ups in the morning. Yeah. That's what I've been trying to do.
Getting big, man. Look at this.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Look at these shoulders.
Hopefully I'm getting big in the right way, not down.
You're pitching your body there. So So I think what we like listeners, what you're out there, a Hotshot Nation, walk away with is a pitch that actually works in the real world. We want to definitely give you those tips. So listen in right to the end because you don't want to miss everything we want to talk about and some special announcements towards the end.
Because we're going to teach you how to do it the right way so you're not sounding like a robot, you're not sounding like a scammer, you're not sounding like somebody reading a script, which is the most common one. How many times are you on an online networking? You had a one-on-one with somebody, and it's like they're picking up and reading their script to you over Zoom.
Go away. I remember some, especially during the pandemic, when we used to go to those online events, and it's like the Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
I help people with their goals. It's like, I want to take a nap. But you got to get those pitches lined up. So
you definitely have to.
And then they make it like a TV commercial. Don't pitch like it's a television commercial. And Reagan, our producer here,
Reagan looks like a commercial today.
She does. We'll see her in a second. But you don't want to be a TV commercial because you're going to lose people right off the bat. That's why people, the DVR, whatever they call it, they fast forward those commercials. But without further ado, before we get to our podcast today, our favorite producer in the world, the executive producer of Market Like a Hotshot, Reagan Condry, come over here. Check out this shirt. I'm going to move over so you can all see it.
Market Like a Hotshot.
Yeah.
You got to get it. You got to check these shirts out, right? Merch. And she looks good in it, too. And
this one's, I think, exclusive to the interns.
So you have to work for Market Like a Hotshot to get one of those shirts. So think about that one for a minute, right?
Part of the benefits by being part of the team.
So let's talk about the big idea. A pitch is not a performance. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
You're not a commercial. It's a connection. Let's expand.
So it's not a monologue, which a lot of people don't realize. I mean, how often, Jeff?
Yeah, it's like,
are you talking to somebody and then they go into like a 10-minute? It's like, what do you do? And then in 3 seconds you tell them what you do, and then the next 10 minutes.
Sometimes they don't even ask what you do. They don't even ask your name. And I go to my wife Heather. It's like, call me. If she's at the event, she's at the other side of the event. It's like, just call me. Make sure my phone rings.
That's a hotshot networking tip is that if you're going with a friend, have a signal if you need to be rescued.
Rescued.
How many times do you and I see situations though where people need to be rescued because that various reasons, but usually because of monologue.
It's a monologue. Yeah.
The other thing people do is it's like they go into their whole life story, resume. It's like
they give their resume.
So I was born in 1982, and grew up in this place.
I grew up in Kansas.
Yeah, I grew up in Kansas. Then I moved to Metropolis. No, just kidding.
I know, right?
Moved to New York where I was a reporter, and then put on a.
And we'll get into some tips later on how to kind of tweak that. But don't be. We talk about this a lot. I do past episodes about a pitch not being a sales script.
That's a huge one. A lot of people just jump right into like how they're talking to a client as if they're cold calling people.
Yeah, cold calling.
It's terrible.
But at the end of the day, the pitch is a bridge between you and the person you're talking to.
Right.
You got the bridge has to be complete. You don't want a hole in the bridge, because then guess what happens to you? You fall into the water. Or maybe onto the railroad tracks, if it's railroad tracks. And you don't hope a train's not going by to hit you on the way down.
So true. I mean, the thing is that if your pitch sounds like a commercial, people are going to tune you out.
I tune people all the time.
I do that all the time. And it's just like, I'll sit there, and I hate to do this at networking events, but I will. If someone is pitching me, trying to sell me during their introduction.
Yeah.
My eyes start glancing.
Oh yeah,
like who else
you
is
do
in
the
the
roving
room?
eye thing, right?
It's like where's our friend Victor when we're
I
see Victor. Victor's in Korea.
Shout out to Victor Lee, man. You're in Korea right now. You're on the other side of the world, man. We miss you already. I was at Venture Cafe last night, and it wasn't the same without you. So we'll see you soon. Hopefully, I don't want the summer to go by too fast, but we'll have to see him soon.
I never want anything to go by too fast.
I know, especially when
at our age.
Getting old, man.
The other thing too, Jeff, and tell me, I think you and I know a few examples of this, is that if your pitch is too polished, too rehearsed, it can sometimes backfire on you and you lose your credibility.
You do, and it's just like a financial advisor that wears a suit to an event and tells you, I can make you money.
Right.
And they'll go into the whole life story, and it's like, you don't even know if that person needs your services. So why do this polished PowerPoint pitch when you don't even know if that person needs your services? And then how about a cryptic pitch?
Oh, that's my favorite. And I know we're going to talk in a little bit about some of our, some of the pitch fails that we've been a part of. But I remember I was on, back in the COVID days, the online networking.
Yeah.
And I was in this group, and someone came on there, and the guy's like, I'm a financial blah, blah, blah. He went on for like 3 minutes. Yep. And then afterwards, I'm like, I'm a little confused because of, you mentioned this, and this, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Are you a financial advisor? Are you selling insurance? Or are you a health and wellness coach? That's how out there it was.
All right, I'm going to make you laugh right now. The dude that comes to all my events with the hat, and I'll leave it at that. And we'll just leave
Reagan's grinning because she knows exactly who you're talking about.
The dude with the hat.
Oh, my goodness.
And anyone who comes to my events, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I think the dude with the hat was part of that call when that group when I was. It wasn't him that did it, but I think he was part of that group.
The dude with the hat.
That's right.
So how about a pitch that landed a client? Do you have a good? Let's stop positive here. If you did a pitch, but it's like...
Yeah, I mean, I just naturally, I don't like to pitch. I do things a lot differently than most people, and I've never wanted to do that pitch. I just read the situation, and it's rather than so much landing a client through it, it's like making a really good connection. And remember Sophia from Montreal?
Yeah, she was nice.
Nothing, like we didn't even talk about business. We were just chatting, and she was asking a question about a room at Venture Cafe. She's like, "Oh, is this there more?" And I'm like, "No, it's good here." And we just started talking, and she's like, she mentioned she was from Montreal. I didn't sit there and jump into, "Oh, I own a web design firm and I do,"
Yeah.
Instead, I listened to her, talked a lot about. So I mean, I think that was a lot more successful. We had a great night meeting her and her teammates. Remember?
Some classic nights at Venture Cafe, but and that first tip, obviously. Turn your pitch into a question. Yeah, if anything, that's probably the first tip we'll give you of many today is instead of saying, I do websites, ask them, how is your website? Do you even have a website?
Yeah.
Or actually,
how's your website performing? Do you ever,
Well, you don't even get to that point is like, what do you need to be successful? You almost like you're asking a question versus saying, I'm a website developer. Cool. I mean, I bet you're good at UX, the front end UX design, make it look good, but what's the outcome of it? So,
it's funny. One time I did this where I did use the question, and they're like, so what do you do? And I said, well, have you ever seen those websites that when you go to them, they just really capture your attention?
yeah.
And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, what we do is we take boring websites and make them look like that, and that
might be, that's not bad. And then we'll talk about pitches being memorable. You want to be,
you want to be memorable in a good way.
In a good way.
The
not the guy at the hat way.
Yeah, I mean, there's the guy with the hat creeps out people. We don't want to be that guy. Like there's a saying: there's no such thing as bad publicity, and that's not true.
There is.
Yeah.
So how about all right, so I'm going to talk about one that opened the door, my recruiting business. I didn't even say what I did, but what I did was, when you know who your audience is, and I knew this person was a hiring manager right from the day one, I just ask them simply how things going. Yeah, is your team doing well? It's almost like I was being like his boss. And then it dawned on him that I was a recruiter. I didn't even tell him what I did. And it turns out I ended up getting him as a client. Like literally, I ended up doing some work. It's one of my best clients, actually. Great company in Maynard, Massachusetts, and I'll leave it at that. But it's almost you're being like a partner with that person, and they see how you relate to what they're going through. And we talk about this a lot, pain, right? And then you become a solution provider. And I never once said, I'm in staffing, I'm in recruiting, once to the person. So you have that conversational approach to your pitch versus, and it's two ways.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because you just made me think of something. Maybe a couple months ago at Venture Cafe, I was talking to a young woman about, and I asked her what she did, what brought her there, and then someone else kind of entered the conversation, started talking about himself. I never had a chance to really talk about what I did, but then I think you and I were going to check out the session in the Havana room. And so I said, it was great meeting you. And she's like, oh, let's connect on LinkedIn. So QR code, scans it. She looks at my profile. She's like, wow, you do this, you get this many followers, you do this. And like, it spoke for itself. I didn't have to say anything to impress. And I think that helps because so many people, they put, cleverness, they want to look like a big shot.
Yeah.
And when you play that down, because people that have real followings don't be, like people that have confidence in themselves, and we're going to do an episode on confidence down the road, they don't go and brag about crap like that.
They don't
just
need
like,
to.
You don't need to.
So this is like another tip out there. Make sure your social profiles and LinkedIn is up to date.
Right.
Because, when I network, probably majority of the time, I don't tell people what I do at all. I want to learn about them. I know we're turning into a pitch to a networking tip here, but stop thinking you have to do your pitch to every single person you meet.
Yeah.
Really. In fact, you shouldn't pitch at all. Let's just stop this episode right now.
This is like the magic of Market Like a Hotshot is that we have our notes that we follow. We have our outline of how we want the episode to go. But it's great when we sometimes take these detours. I think the information's always good.
It is.
So.
But, getting back to at those hard-hitting lines here about pitches. So
the pitch that you practice in the mirror is often not the one that you give in real life, And that's
another reason why, and this is a speaking tip, hopefully soon we'll do a Speak Like a Hotshot with a guest, is don't keep practicing in a mirror. Maybe practice, look to see if you're dressed fine and all that. Like, I love doing things on a whim. Like, we're doing this. When do we know what we're doing today? Probably 10 minutes before?
Yeah, we figured we're going to change that going forward. But, for now, what we've been, sometimes we just like to read the atmosphere of what's going on in real life and talk to our real audiences. and figure out what's of interest to people. But yeah, you don't always have to plan everything way in
Don't
advance.
plan it too crazy. Like my health and wellness videos I do every Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know the topic until 5. I go on Google. What should I talk today? Or I ask Claude now. What should I talk about? Okay, get in front of a camera. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Don't get too crazy on that.
And the thing too about that is that, getting back to the whole pitches and all of that stuff, people don't really remember the pitch that you give them. They remember the way you feel.
Yep.
The way you make them feel, I should say.
Yeah. Did you smile? Do you call them by their name?
Yeah.
Do you shook their hand? You look straight at them. You're full attention. They're gonna remember that. Or if you're very positive, you're like, man, this person walked in the room and everybody smiled. That's the best pitch in the world.
I mean, there's so many times where you and I are driving back from Boston or Cambridge, and we'll talk about people like that. It's like, oh yeah, I had this great connection with so-and-so, or I was talking with so-and-so. And sometimes we may forget their names, but we remember the feeling, and then, we find their business card, their LinkedIn profile to remember their names.
And then you do the follow-up.
But it's
like
the way
Hotshot.
people will never forget, especially if it's very positive. But also, on the flip side, you want to be careful, because if it's very negative, people are going to remember the way you make them feel.
Uh-huh.
They're not, and that's what matters to them more than what you do. And
Exactly. Yep. So let's get into some strategies here. So we talked about pitching, and let's not call it a pitch almost, right? Call it like
when's it appropriate?
When's it appropriate? Where are pitches appropriate? And I'm not going to say it's at your kid's soccer game. That's probably the worst place, right?
Or in the bathroom. I've seen people try and pitch in the bathroom.
I've been pitched in the bathroom before.
is
That's
crazy.
pretty embarrassing. But how about networking events? Of course, we talk about that.
Yeah.
But don't know what you want to say. Know your business really well. But turn your at a networking event, we talked about this about a few minutes ago, turn that pitch into a question.
Right. And then, often we get business introductions where, how many times have we been at networking event? It's like, oh, you need, I'm going to shout out Ann Griffin, our friend.
Ann Griffin, how you doing?
Ann came over to me because she met you, and then you said, oh, you got to meet my friend.
Yeah.
And Ann's one of our value, we love Ann.
She's definitely a hotshot.
She's part of Hotshot Nation.
Yeah.
We love Ann. And I'll never forget when she came over, and she's like, she walked up to me and she's like, oh, I want it. And that made me feel so good. And it's, immediately, we talked for a few seconds, and then I'm like, Ann, tell me about yourself. What do you, and it's like, she's someone I want to do business with.
Exactly. She's memorable.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's formal pitch sessions, and you might be in a class and all. That's obviously that's an appropriate time, but
Or there's events too where, it's do your pitch. It's kind of
your
like
pitch.
open mic night where you get up and do your pitch.
yeah. But when you do your pitch, always do your pitch with a
Smile.
smile and a question. All right, just don't just pitch that I make straw baskets. Cool. How many people in the room care about your straw basket?
It's funny because it's like that's a harsh reality, is that you're excited about an accomplishment or something you do. And when you talk to other people, they may not share that enthusiasm. So,
Yeah.
you got to just remember that. It doesn't take away from what you've done. It's just that you've got to just be cognizant of the fact that other people don't have that excitement towards what you're doing.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so when someone asks what you do, my tip there is this is gonna be crazy. Keep your pitch at 10 seconds. I do make it almost like a line, and then turn that into a question. Ask them a question. If you had this 2-minute pitch, say what you do, then ask a question, and see how receptive that person is, and adjust your pitch as you go along, because everything you say sometimes it doesn't resonate, right?
It's true.
That's a big one. And then, of course, you have to earn the right to share too. You have to get there okay.
That's
to share.
a huge one.
Yeah.
And it's a common mistake that a lot of people make, is that they jump right into it without it. I always make the analogy of networking and dating, right? You wouldn't go up to someone at a bar and ask them to marry you right away, but that's kind of what happens. It's like, you're not going to go up to someone and say, hey, you're attractive. I'm single. I'm this. I'm that. I'm looking for someone like you. let's get married next week.
And she says yes. What do you do?
Yeah, like to me, I would probably run the other direction. Like even if I was doing that as a joke and somebody said it kind of shows you the reality of it is that if someone would jump into that, would you really want to do business with them? Just like would you really want to marry that type of person? But the key to that is that you need to earn the ability to pitch somebody.
Okay. And then what belongs in a pitch?
First, most important thing is
this is it right here.
This is the most important thing is who do you help?
Yeah, who do you help? Because that, it's not like that you're helping that person you're pitching to. He may know 10 people that may need your services. Yeah. So, but you want to identify who's your audience, who's your qualified lead almost.
So you want to even know that before you do your pitch.
Who do you? Jeff Berman last night at Venture Cafe said this: go to the room where your customers are. Be in a room where your customers are. Chances are your pitch is going to be pretty successful in that room.
Yeah. I mean, people ask me all the time with the web design stuff. They're like, well, do you serve a particular niche? And then I explain, I'm like, our ideal clients are between $300,000 and $5 million in annual sales. Because of the type of, and then people are like, wow, that's kind of an interesting range. And then I explain why. And you give them a reason to want to learn more. So that's another tip with this is that you want to leave people wanting to hear more. You don't want to give everything away up front.
No, that's a big one right there. You have your 10-second tagline, ask a question, have dialogue, and then you feed information as you go when needed. Make sure that person's receptive. Yeah. They have to be receptive. You can't go on be a 10-minute long sentence, right? What makes you different is big. Because, how many times I've gone to a networking event and there's 6 web designers in that room. And they all say the same thing.
I help people, everyone's like, I make a beautiful website. It's like, cool. Yeah. So does AI. Doesn't mean it's a good website. All
right, so you asked me, do I care about having a beautiful website? No, I care about making money.
I want a website that converts.
Has a call to action on it.
And there's a lot of people that pitch that, and then I'm like, all right, give me some data. And they're like, oh, well, client so-and-so did this. I'm like, all right, whatever. Tell me more detail. That's another thing. It's like you start going down the rabbit hole with that stuff. Don't lie. Do not lie. Do not make up numbers. Do not make up stories, because what's going to happen is you're going to tell that to one person, then you're going to alter the story when you tell another person. It's just human nature. People are going to find you out.
Yeah, exactly. So keep it consistent.
Yeah. And you want to have real data that backs it up, because you want to be prepared for that, because people are like, oh, tell me about that site that did that. How did you do that? And it's people are like, well, I don't know, because they made it up. So it's like they're thinking on the fly. Not a good approach.
Not a good approach. So make sure the story's good. Hey, speaking of story, I heard rumors we may, not to give away, we have a future guest coming up next, right?
Story. Oh, yeah. And Reagan has the video. Jeff and I do a cool thing when we invite guests. Like we kind of just like show up, and it's become a new tradition. We've done it now 3 times. Riyadh being the first. We have someone else, and then we have this other person too. That we kind of just have someone pull a camera out. We sit next to them. We're like, "You're the next guest." It's kind of like The Price is Right. You're the next guest on
Market Like a Hotshot.
Yeah. So look for that on our social. I think Reagan will be posting the video probably early next week.
Market Like a Hotshot Instagram. Everyone's going to follow that. Some good. Yeah. Reagan's been putting some amazing content up there. So you got to check out Market Like a Hotshot Instagram. Follow us. All right. So what belongs on the pitch? We talked about the life story thing. Throw away the life story. Who cares? What's next? I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, we have to talk a lot about that. People don't need to know every single service that you do in your pitch. You want to leave some excitement for when they have a one-on-one with you, or when you have meet for coffee. Then you get into all of that stuff. But like you're meeting someone for the first time, you don't need to be like, we do web design, SEO, social media, email marketing, whatever. People
don't care.
They don't care about all of that stuff.
And then, of course, we talked about the buzzwords and the lies already.
Oh, my goodness. You know how many times now people are like, tossing terms around. Like, it's terrible when you talk to someone that's in a field with a lot of buzzwords.
It's like corporate America.
Yeah, and they start dropping like 3 or 4 letter acronyms, and you're like, what does that mean?
It's cryptic nonsense.
Yeah, they're like, I help your IOD do IoT, like, or we work in IoT to help them connect to an IP, and it's like, whatever.
And a great example about the websites, I help people increase conversions on their website. No, not good. But right. So again, I'm a business. What do I care about? Customers.
You care about how to make money.
How do you make money?
Stay.
I'm a web designer that helps you make money.
Right.
Wow.
And then
if you're a website designer, just say that, because that's what you do. I help you make money.
Except the last thing we're going to talk about, which is what doesn't belong in a pitch, is lies. So if you're not really helping people make money, don't say that you are.
Yeah, you have to have proof.
Yeah.
So how about pitch lengths? I talk about my 10-second pitch, which I think is the best pitch. No pun intended here, but the 10-second is perfect, especially if you just met somebody. You don't want to go into too much longer than that.
So we recommend that you have, like you said, you start off with the 10-second. You can elaborate a little bit more on it in a 30-second, maybe a 1 minute, a 5 minute, but it depends on your groups too, because like I belong to a group where we do an 8-minute pitch once a month or once a year or whatever
8
it is.
minutes?
Yeah, you do an 8-minute in front of the group. So like it's a presentation, like
that's different.
Something like BNI, right? Like in BNI you may have a 10-minute, a 15-minute. So like you want to have those varying lengths.
So let me just throw a tip out there. If it's an 8-minute pitch, make it educational, not about your services.
So true.
Teach people. Like if you have a service, turn it around and make it a learn like a Hotshot scenario. And
teach people.
Yeah, actually, I was at your NGU meeting last week, 2 weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. And there was somebody talking about insurance. Now, insurance is probably the most boring topic ever. But she educated us. She didn't even say what she did. Here's my contact information at the end. So if your pitch is long, turn it to education, not what you do.
Actually, I want to shout her out because she's incredible, and I use her.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Tanya Blanco. We love Tanya. Tanya's a good friend, and we use her for our insurance at JVF. She's been a phenomenal person to work with. But you're right. She doesn't pitch you. She gets to know who you are.
Yep.
And she has a fun spin on it. So I didn't get to see the one last week that you went to, but before she picked on somebody in the group and used him as an example in a funny way. Yeah. It's like, I remember that talk, and you remember hers from, a month ago, which is great.
That's the way it works. It rocks.
Yeah.
And then, we always say she understood the audience. Probably, there was all small business owners there. So understanding your audience and pitching at a networking event versus pitching on stage.
That's it's so different because when you're on stage, you're talking to a huge group of people.
Yeah, people out in front. But
and I mean, it could be a small group. Like, I think back to your events where when it's not heavily attended, you only have like 20, 25, 30 people. You'll have us all go around in a circle and pitch. And that's different from when you're talking one-on-one with somebody. So your goals are completely different. When you're talking to a group, you just really, all you want to do is get them interested in you.
That's all.
Enough for them to ask you.
Yep,
yeah.
They remember you.
Like the guy that was a DJ, he did something else during the day. We all remember him as being a DJ.
The DJ, yeah.
Right?
That's a wild
and that was from like 6-8 months ago, right?
Yeah.
That was back in the fall.
Yeah. I remember him, right? And then the cold lead versus the warm lead. Somebody you just met versus somebody you know. That you may pitch them differently.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when it's someone that doesn't know you at all, you have to establish that connection.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of people fail. They don't take the time to establish the connection first before they jump into the pitch.
Yeah.
Versus somebody that knows you. Like, I'll pick on our buddy Gary,
Bezos?
You have to, Jeff. And I get confused because you're Jeff, you call him Bezos, and his real name is Gary. But like,
he was here today, he was downstairs.
Yeah, actually, he was at an event that I stopped by for a few minutes. I wanted to support him.
Bezos was in the house.
Yeah, Gary is a good guy. But like, sometimes he and I will be in a conversation, and he already knows me pretty well, and I'll say, oh, yeah, I'm working on this. And he's like, wow, I've known you for year and a half, 2 years. I had no idea you did that.
Yeah.
Like, so, there's different, it's different
timing.
information that you want to share. And
It's
you're
actually
right, timing
timing.
is a huge
Timing's
piece of it.
key. Pitching a peer versus a decision maker. Boy, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Because a peer, you may be pitching a peer just to get feedback. You're pitching a decision maker to close the deal.
Right.
All right. You want to close the deal. You want to be with the decision maker. Ask them a question. Experience. Don't even pitch. Just talk to them about it, because they're gonna trust you, and they'll work with you versus just doing a pitch. They don't want to hear that. They want you to solve their problem, right? So turn your pitch into a question. So human connection, how it's better than perfect delivery. Human in the loop. I'm hearing that a lot lately. Everyone's going AI crazy. Human in the loop is really, humanizing your conversation with a prospect.
I mean, I've been saying for a while, if not 2027, I think 2028, you're going to see a backlash to AI because people are getting sick of that. And it's kind of like the work from home. Everybody loved working from home during COVID. Now people are getting tired of that. So we're seeing a trend because everybody's used to talking into their computer on Zoom.
That's why I almost need glasses now.
Yeah.
It's like my eyes are like shot by the end of the day.
And I mean, as good as these chatbots are and all of that stuff, people are just longing for that human connection. So you don't want to be a robot.
Don't be a robot.
You don't want to sound like AI. So don't have AI write your pitch. That's really what I'm getting at.
No. It could help you. You can ask Claude, write me a pitch, but then I'll tell you, change it, humanize it as much as possible.
I've actually done that. I've had AI go out and write me. I explained to AI, I want to, this is what I want to communicate in my pitch. Help me create a, 5 or 6, 10-second pitches that I can share with people. I didn't like any of them, but what I did is I took bits and pieces.
It gets ideas.
Yeah, it gives me ideas. But like if I went in and just said, I work at JVF Solutions where we help you, it's just like it is so non-human.
Yeah.
It's going to turn people off.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so don't sound like a robot.
Yeah, be genuine. Create conditions where people want to share you. Because, again, it goes into being impressing them enough that they share what you do with other people, their connections, their referrals. It's really big.
And that's a lesson that you get from social media, too, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
We always say create shareable content on social media. Why not do it in real life?
Yeah, as a pitch. And then how about the coaching thing?
Jeff loves coaches, right?
My head hurts.
Jeff, every time I mention coaches, it's like nails down the chalkboard, right?
Where's the chalkboard? We got one
I
here?
know. We don't have one in this building.
So
Whiteboard.
it's not a school. Well, actually, it is a school. It's a college.
Yeah.
But coaches telling their clients to pitch a certain way doesn't mean it's right. Because, again, you have to humanize it. Be authentic. Coaches are not going to tell you to do that.
I mean, you and I used to belong to a networking group where I'd say 60 to 80% of the people went, all worked with a certain coach. So all of those group, you could tell that they worked with him. It's just, it's a style. Nothing bad or...
Is that the guy with the glasses with no glass in it?
Yeah, you're the one that... yeah. But I mean, like, nothing to... not bashing or praising the guy, but just like, he has a certain style that he teaches people.
Yeah.
So all of these people followed that style, and it just seemed too cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And we see the same thing in, with websites. You see it with any form of marketing where everyone's following the same thing.
Yeah.
It goes back to what you say: be the red guy in the green room.
The red guy in the green room. That's the marketing advice of the century right there. How do you stand out? So hey, let's land this plane. Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch is a handshake, right?
Not a speech.
Not a speech. You're not the president giving a speech. You're being authentic, right? How about confusing pitches, like the guy at the hat?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like I still don't know what he does, and I've met him so many times. But
the guy with the hat.
Yeah, I'm like, what is he? And I've asked you, and I don't think you've even really figured it out either. It's
sell solar, maybe sell solar.
I'm like, he goes to all these events, and I'm like, what is your purpose other than just being there? But the thing is that if your pitch is confusing,
Hotshot
They won't
tactics.
ask questions.
Yeah, they won't. So clarity obviously beats cleverness.
Right. A lot of
Every
times
single
people
time.
try and be, with their pitches, they try and be so slick. They try and be too funny. It's just get to the point quickly.
Do they have slick back hair too? Look out for those type of people,
Yeah,
man.
they've got like the hair gel. And
The hair gel back. And then, the best pitch always starts a conversation. How do you start a conversation, James? I'm quizzing you.
with a question.
Ask a question, right? And don't impress people. People don't care. They don't care. They care about themselves. They care about how you can solve their problem. So make sure you pitch against that. So, and then if somebody can't repeat your pitch, so-called pitch,
Yeah.
they can't refer.
If they don't know what you're selling, they can't. They
won't
can't
be able to
repeat it.
refer you.
And then one other one is that, and this is key in the day and age of AI, is that if you sound like a robot, people are going to think you think like one.
Yeah, you ever see those TikTok videos where they say the name of a place wrong? It's like some AI bot thingamajiggy.
Yeah.
Hello, we're on Chichita Road. It's not
It's-
Chichita Road.
Yeah, or they, you see the wording on there too. Like they auto-generate the captions and the captions are spelled wrong. Like,
Yeah.
it's like they're saying someone, you look at someone and they look like they're tired.
Yeah.
They are, with the apostrophe, THEY apostrophe RE. And then they'll spell it THERE or THEIR. So it's,
AI needs some spell check.
yeah, AI will and they butcher the way they pronounce stuff. Use AI for the right purposes. That's
Exactly.
really the key.
All right, so we got you hotshots out there.
We're gonna give you homework.
Gonna get homework, right? How about rewriting your pitch in one sentence? No jargon, no fluff, no buzzwords, just clarity. If your 12-year-old can't understand it, it's not ready.
True.
So we'd like to see some comments out there. Get in touch with us. Let us know what your pitch is, and we'll have our 12-year-old take a look at it. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll find a 12-year-old to review it.
All right, and coming in for that landing, definitely follow Market Like a Hotshot on your favorite platform. What is your favorite? What I also hear from the Hotshots.
Yeah.
Is it Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or iHeartRadio, or do you like YouTube? You like to see videos, but Spotify has videos too. And share this episode with your friends, the people that you love. And I heard rumors about this live event that's coming up pretty fast, Mr. James.
June 18th, Thursday at the Framingham Farmers Market, which is right across the street.
Yep. Iron
Opening
Framingham
day.
Common.
Yeah,
It's
right
opening
over
day,
on-
so get your strawberries. Strawberries are in season here in
Yeah, we're in
Massachusetts
June,
in June.
so it's
So that. And also our website has got some new features. You got to check that out.
the events are up there now. You'll start seeing some blogs from us soon. So again, as I said in the last episode, if you're listening to this anytime 2027 or beyond, we probably have implemented a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, learn
since
like
we
a hot
recorded
shot. Don't
this.
forget about learn like a hot shot too.
Yeah,
Click the learn button.
We've got 3 courses out there right now. They're dirt cheap, $29.
$29. You could be a rock star.
And
You
these
could
are
be a
courses
hotshot.
that we used to charge $99 for
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
So if you want to be a hot shot, click learn like a hot shot. And we'll leave it at that, my friends. Let's
Man.
enjoy the weekend. It's summer here in Massachusetts.
80 degrees
I got
outside.
shorts on, see?
I know.
All right. Have a good day. Market like a hot shot. Hot shots. James and Jeff in the house.